Hey everybody, it's Kate Richberg, and welcome to yet another broadcast in my Beadshop.com favorite knot series that we are broadcasting out this week. Today's knot is my favorite. Hopefully it's going to be your favorite, the Chinese button knot. Now, this knot, you've seen me tie it a few times. I've used it in some different projects, and so it's kind of buried in the videos of some different projects. So we thought we would make a quick, straightforward video for you to follow along so you too will become an expert in tying one of my most favorite knots, the Chinese button knot. So let's take a look here at what we've got on the board in front of us today. Like all of the cords I'm using this week, this is a 1.5 millimeter cord. This is about 30 inches for practice. You can use leather cord for your practice cords. You could also use something a little silkier like rat tail, but I wouldn't use any smaller than about a 1.5 millimeter. It'll just be easier for you to handle. You could go up to 2 millimeter, or if you have larger cords, 3 millimeter, whatever. That will all work out, but I would recommend not going any smaller than that. So let's jump in. I added a little like bead here to kind of replicate if I would put a like a pendant or something or a clasp or whatever that would go here. Okay, so that's just kind of a placeholder here. And you can see I've tied a few here. You can tie them in a line like this and add them to a bracelet design. You could tie one at the very end of your cord like that to use as an actual button, but it's a nice decorative knot. It may look a little difficult at first, but I promise you, if you stick with the steps, watch this video a couple of times, and keep practicing, you'll be in good shape. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna, my 30 inches of cord, I've kind of bent in half here, and I'm gonna place that kind of bend right on the index finger of my left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna be tying this knot with my right hand and holding everything with my left. Okay, and I'm gonna call these cords here at the beginning the front cord, the cord that's coming down over my index finger, and the back cord, the cord that's between my index finger and my middle finger. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to take this knot, I'm going to wrap it around my thumb like so, twist it, and lay it down so it's like a little window. So the cord that's coming down my index finger is showing through the window of that cord, that loop that I just made. Also, can you see how that loop, it crosses here? You don't just want to make a loop like this and bring it over the top and not have it cross. Then it won't hold anything. So wrap it around your thumb, grab it at the cross, and place it right here so it's like a little window. Okay, can we see that? And you can kind of see I'm holding everything underneath there like that with my left thumb. Now, the thing to remember is we're always working from behind the cord that's behind, I guess I want to say, and that'll become clearer for you. I'm going to point it out as I knot. So remember how the knot, the strand that was the front strand that was coming down over my index finger? Well, that is actually now kind of become the cord that's now behind everything. So I'm going to grab that cord. I'm going to come behind the cord, the tail that makes up that loop. And I'm making a loop that's kind of an equal size as this top loop. And now in the window, the end of that cord that I've just looped around, I'm going to weave it. I'm going to go over the right-hand side of the loop, under the cord that shows up center through the window, and over the left-hand side. Okay? And I know it's right because when I come in and kind of tighten everything up, see how I've made a little pretzel Okay, like that. It kind of looks like a little pretzel, like so. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you one more time. I'm going to go a little bit faster. My middle finger is coming in and splitting the cords. The cord from behind, I wrap around my thumb, place it on the cord that's falling over my index finger. That cord now becomes the cord that's behind everything. So I bring it behind that cord I just looped with, and I weave it in the window over the right hand, under the center cord, and over the left hand cord that form that loop. And when I tighten everything up, I should have what looks like almost a little pretzel. If you've come this far and your cord isn't looking right, if you don't have this pretzel, if everything isn't all stable, then you need to go back and follow my tips until you get to this point. Okay? I don't want you to go any further because it won't come out right if you don't get this. One of the things that people do when they don't, I'm going to take this out, do it one more time. One of the things that happens is you don't make that cross in the loop, right? You just get this loop and you kind of put it there. Then you bring this around and you weave it through the window like this, right? And see, there's no pretzel, right? So make sure that you grab that cord from behind, wrap it around your thumb, grab it where it crosses, and turn it. See, and that cord is showing through the window. You grab that cord from behind, weave it over the right-hand cord, under the center cord in the window, and up and out over the left-hand cord. Okay, and there's your pretzel. So let's go to step 2. We're halfway there. Okay, and on this step, what you do with one cord, you're going to do exactly the same with the opposite cord. So this is the cord that we just wove with, right? So I'm going to continue working with that cord. I'm going to bring it around, and I remember how we always work from behind. So I'm going to go behind this cord here, the one that was still my original cord from my loop, and I go around it, or around and underneath it. Now, can you see this diamond shape right here, this diamond? I'm going to come underneath that little X that forms that diamond, and I'm going to come up through the center and pull. Okay, look how I've got like a little ear on one side. We're almost there. We're halfway home with this last step. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to finally pick up this cord that's been neglected, that's coming out here. I'm going to go behind this cord and around. See, I'm going to go to the X on the opposite side, this side. I'm going to come up. I'm going to finagle my cord underneath there, grab it from the X, from the inside of that diamond, and pull it up. Now see how everything is symmetrical here, right? That original pretzel that I made and the 2 little ears that I added. First with one cord and then following suit with the second cord. So both of these cords are coming out towards the center, from the center of that diamond. Now, I know that it's right if I come in and I pull. I'm pulling everything. It didn't quite tighten, so I'm going to get the parts that aren't quite as tight as they should be. I'm going to walk them through, but you'll see once I walk these through, and we're going to walk this down a little bit more, but you'll be able to see here, see that when I tighten it up, see how the knot is completely symmetrical, so I know that's correct. Now, if you're doing this with rat tail or a silkier cord, it pulls a little bit easier. With the leather, it's a little bit sticky. Now, let's say that we wanted to walk this knot down a little further towards our pendant. Okay? All we need to do is walk this cord, push this cord through the knot to take up the slack. Okay, so let's do that. Let me show you. I'm going to use this cord. I'm going to put, you can do either one, the left or the right. I'm going to go from the left and see how I pull it and see how this section of the knot loosens up. So I grab that section and I walk it up tight. Okay, now I turn it and I push this side and I go, oh, okay, that's where it's loose. So let me walk that slack out there. I'll do the same thing here. I'll go, hey, that's where that is. Push it down. There we are. And let's tighten this last one. There it is. That tightens up, and then I should be able to pull that strand and tighten everything. And see, that button knot is now where we want it to be. So let's say that maybe this was the end of like your bracelet or whatever. Or, you know, your start, maybe I don't know, you're using this as a connector or whatever your design is. But let's say I want to tie another one now down here. We just do it again. We just repeat. So I'm going to come in, wrap that loop around my thumb, grab it where it intersects, twist to make the window. Now I switch cords, working from behind, grabbing that cord and weaving over the right-hand side, under the center cord that's peeping through the window, and out and over the loop. There's my pretzel. Now we're going to make the ears on this pretzel. I'm going to continue with this cord. I'm going to bring it around, grab it from behind. There's my diamond. I pass it through the X on the right side of the diamond and up through the diamond so it comes out the center. Now I do the same thing with the right-hand cord. I'm going to come in, bring it around. I'm making that ear. There's the X on the left-hand side, so I aim for that X. I bring it up through, finagle that guy up there. Come on now. I know you want to be a knot. There it goes. Up through the center of that diamond, right? Tighten it around. Check that everything is symmetrical, right? There are the two ears. There's my pretzel. And we're going to pull so everything is even. That pull went a little bit better. Now, if I wanted to walk these two down, right, I kind of have to walk halfway here with this slack and halfway here with this slack. So I'll come in, this one's a little bit looser. So I'll push this in, and you kind of have to push it and figure out which cord moves. Sometimes your leather can get a little bit spongy, but I can see it's this one. So I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to walk it to about the length I'm going to want them to be apart, right? So then I turn it. I push on that leather, that slack. I know it's this one. So I'll tighten that up. Push on this side. It's this one. I tighten it up. I push on this one. I tighten that up. And then I pull because that was the last step there. So now I'll make these two even by pushing on the slack on the opposite side. I think it's this right here. And see, as I pull it, I want to make sure that I've evened out the distance right there. Okay, so I'll keep coming in, going around, pulling that slack through. Soon you'll be able to read this knot and see this strand kind of traveling through the button. There we go. So there's our second knot right there. And then you can just continue on, continue. What I would recommend, you guys, is what do I want to say? I want to say practice and don't get frustrated, right? This knot really is tied in two parts. You want to achieve the pretzel section, right? Tie that one a couple of times so that you have that pretzel step nice and tight and even. Then once you've achieved that, then you go from the right and then the left to create the little ears and then pull it tight. Okay, so think of this knot in two steps, and you'll be tying this knot in no time. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this simple primer on one of my very favorite decorative knots, the Chinese button knot. Enjoy. I think that you'll find this will come in handy in a lot of jewelry situations. And of course, you can apply all of that to different projects you find right on beadshop.com, as well as don't forget to follow us on social on our Instagram at beadshop.com. Join our Facebook group on Facebook at The Bead Table. And if you are watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe and make sure and enable those notifications so you'll always know when we go live. We also have a great playlist on our YouTube channel, beadshop.com, favorite knots for jewelry making. You'll find it there. This video will live there along with a bunch of other videos and projects that I've done that incorporate knots. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.